Well, it's about time for the annual Lone Star Showdown. This year is in Austin, Texas on Thanksgiving Day. This will be my last time to be at DKR as a student. It's my senior year, and for all you guys who think that we're bandwagon fans and stuff here in Austin, well, for me personally, I have not missed a home football game since I've been here. This will be my last time to be there as a student, so I'm looking forward to that. I expect it to be a loss, but that will go on that later on. But I've been to two Red River rivalries. I've been to a few road games here and there throughout the time I've been here. Been to Waco, been to Lubbock. Went to Texas A&M a year or two before I came here. Been to Stillwater. So you know I've been to a few stadiums. It's pretty neat. I've been to every single Big 12 South stadium except for Oklahoma, but that game was played in the Cotton Bowl. So I've seen every single Big 12 South opponent against my team on the road at some point. So I've gotten my fill at Texas. I got to see 2 years where in 08 and 09, two of the best years in Texas football history. Those will go up there. I got to witness 3 years of Colt McCoy, who has got his name now, carved into the stadium along with Vince Young, Earl Campbell, Tommy Nobis, and all those guys. So no, for you guys who keep saying that all this sucks for your senior year, it does suck for my senior year, but I've got to experience so much more than a lot of people that have been to Texas have never got to see. So no, I look back on my time here at Texas just as a football fan, as a complete, as an awesome experience. I mean, Colt McCoy I will always get to look back and say that was my quarterback when I went to school at Texas. It was Colt McCoy, and he was one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had. So so that's great. So now talking about this year, talking about this upcoming game against Texas A&M, I do think A&M is going to beat Texas. I just don't see how Texas can beat the Aggies. And it's not, I think the Aggies are playing with a lot more fire, a lot more intensity than we are, but they're just playing better. And they got Tannehill coming in has invigorated that team. That defense has shown up out of nowhere. You saw after that Missouri game, you thought that this team, and I said in my last video, you thought after that Missouri game that the Aggies had gone to the tank. And they showed some great resolve to turn the season around and make it something special. So I commend them for that. And I've never had a problem with the Texas A&M football team. And they're, a lot of you guys, y'all think I'm so hard on A&M that all I do is hate on A&M. And I don't know, get where you're coming from that. Because when the Aggies deserve credit, I always give them credit. No, I'm not going to sit there and talk about how great Texas A&M is when they're not doing good. But I think I've proven my track record in these videos that, yeah, I make fun of Texas A&M, I mock them and whatnot, but when they're good at basketball or football, I'm usually the first one on here to say it, and I usually heap more praise on them than their own fans do. So I don't know where you get that coming from. And, yeah, there's a lot of backhanded stuff I say, and that's all directed at the fans. And I'm not saying Texas A&M is a great fan base, and it's one of the most loyal fan bases around, and I respect that. My problem has always been there seems to be this over-infatuation with beating Texas. And I know that's not what you're all about or whatever, but it's been out there, and it's just fun to poke fun at that, So, and usually where I come from, and I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but it's as a Texas fan, I've always felt that, the Longhorns have been good these past 10 years, and all I've ever heard out of Texas A&M towards me is always about the things that Texas has done wrong. If it's, back in 05 when I went to the game in 05 in College Station when we won that game, and Texas A&M had a great, Steve McGee's coming out party, had a great ball game against Texas. Vince didn't play well, but Texas won the game. We're going to go to the Big 12 Championship. We're going to go to Rose Bowl, and the whole car ride back, all I heard from Aggies was not about how great Texas was or how good they were. It was all about how, how there's no way Vince Young could beat the USC. USC's too good, whatever. And it's just like, you guys serious? Like, really? Like, you're not even going to a bowl game this year, and you're going to talk bad about Texas. And then you go on, back in these past few years where Texas has been real good, all I hear from Aggies is nothing about how good Texas is. It's all about, they'll lose to Alabama, or they don't. I'm glad they missed out on the 2008 or on the Big 12 championship. All this kind of stuff. It's just constant, just talking down on the Longhorns. And yet here are the Aggies doing well this season, and here I am doing nothing but praising them. I didn't hear that from a lot of Aggies when the Longhorns are doing it. So I feel there's a big-time double standard there, at least when it comes with me. You can talk about, and look, Longhorns fan base is not the greatest in the world. I've said this before. There's a lot of fickle fans in this fan base, and it pisses me off. But you know what? You take that argument to those who deserve it, okay? Because I'm not one of those guys. I've been a Texas guy since I can remember. I had 2 uncles that went to Texas. You know, it runs it's running my blood. So, but you know, with this game coming up, I'm going to be at the game and be cheering, and I hope the Longhorns win. But I think right now it is a talent difference right now. Now I think, yes, Texas has the better recruits, at least if you look at Rivals.com or whatever. But what Sherman's been able to do is use what he's got. I mean, you look at Watchku and Fuller, I really think, you know, everyone talks about the quarterback at Texas A&M, but even when Gerard was there, and I thought Gerard was a good quarterback, I don't know, he fell apart at the first of the season. But you had those 2 guys out there. Jeff Fuller or Watchku would be the #1 receiver, either one of those guys, on this team right now. Those are 2 guys I would love to have at Texas, especially Fuller. Fuller really jumps up and gets after the football. And, you know, and Von Miller on defense. And you know, what's really impressed me with Texas A&M is that grit on defense. You know, against Oklahoma, those couple of goal line stands they had, holding Nebraska to only 6 points. You know, that's intensity. That's not just being good. That's wanting it, and that's something we haven't seen from Texas A&M in the past few years. And for them to improve so much this season, my hats are off to them, that coaching staff and everything. And you know, I'm happy for Texas A&M in the sense, and I'm not dissing that. I truly am. I like to see it when programs can build themselves back up, and I feel bad as a Texas fan that we can't give the Aggies a good ball game here on Thursday, at least coming up into it. Can Texas win? Yeah, they can, but it's going to have to be a huge collapse on the Aggies' part. The only way Texas wins this game is if the Aggies show up with a terrible game plan and don't execute at all, and I don't see that happening. This Texas team, and it's weird to say this because you see this team over these past few years before this, there's always that second gear. I talked about it against Oklahoma State. That second, third gear that Texas can turn on, and it always pissed people off about Texas because you would think you'd have the horns down, and then here they come the third or fourth quarter, and here they're right back in the ball game. This season we don't have that, and so when we fall behind early in the game, it's not that the Longhorns shut it down. It's just they don't have the ability to get back up after it. I do think it is a confidence problem. I think this team goes out expecting to lose. You just kind of see in the body language on the team and the way that they perform on the field. They're trying hard, but they don't have any faith that it's going to work. That's on the coaching staff too. The Aggies, you watch them play. It doesn't matter what Sherman calls or what the defensive coordinator calls. Those guys believe in what they're doing. They've bought into that system, and congrats to that. So I'm going to be at the game. I'm going to be, horns up high, hoping we win this ball game, supporting Garrett Gilbert, supporting this offense, and see what they can do. Hoping the defense can really show up, because I do think this defense has, and I will always say this, no matter what they've done this season, this defense has had no excuse for as bad as played here at the end of the year. And a lot of you people have gotten, Longhorns fans get on to me because they keep blaming the offense because the defense doesn't have faith in the offense, and I agree with that. That's a you problem though on the defensive side. That's not your job to worry about the offense. There are teams out there. You've seen teams win Super Bowls and win in college football that have great defenses and subpar offenses. That's because the defense does their job. Do you think the Chicago Bears, who went to the Super Bowl back against the Colts a few years ago, they had Rex Grossman at quarterback, but that team led by Brian Urlacher went to the Super Bowl because of their defense, and their defense never got down because of their offensive problems. So I don't think that is an excuse. So Texas A&M, you guys are having a great season. I commend you and your fans and everything about what you've got so far. And if the Longhorns do win tomorrow, which I don't expect, but if the Longhorns do win tomorrow, I'm not going to talk any trash about it because, one, I'm not talking to you right now, and I really, one game, and I've said this so many times, one game should not define your season. And if you're a team fighting, and people have sent me things like Iowa State fans and Colorado fans have sent me stuff like, hey, just because you're fighting for a ball spot doesn't mean you suck. Yes, it does. That does mean you suck. To you, you may not suck, but see, at the University of Texas, it's about the national perception. It's about being on a national stage. If you are 5-6, just scraping for a bowl game, you're not a good team. And you don't. I mean, even if this Texas team wins against A&M, they still don't deserve a bowl game. They'll get one, and I hope they do go to one. Get to watch the team one more time. But Texas A&M, no matter what happens, they will be the better football team. If they lose, it'll be an epic collapse, and that's what it takes for Texas to win. There's no X's and O's about this ball game. Some people have said, play like we did against Nebraska. Nebraska dropped the ball about 5 or 6 times right in their hands for touchdowns. But also, you can't use that same game plan against A&M. They have a different defense than Nebraska does. Nebraska ran more of a zone coverage on defense, and so we're able to run the ball with Garrett more. So we'll see. I've been happy to be at Texas, and wouldn't trade it for the world. But this is the Aggies' year. So A&M, congrats on the season so far, and if you guys beat us tomorrow, which I fully expect it, I'll be out again. Congrats to y'all for that. I don't understand a lot of Aggies. We get a lot of flack from Aggies acting like I don't ever give them credit. Yeah, I do give some backhanded things, but it's nowhere near the close. I want you guys to read the comments that I have to put up with since I've been doing this. And then you'll look at what I say and like, wow, that's pretty timid for this guy. I can't believe he holding himself back that much. But, but I don't understand that, I usually go out of my way to talk about how good Texas A&M is, but you don't usually get that response back from the Aggie crowd, but that's okay. So, hook 'em horns, Texas 5, Texas A&M. Hope your fans have a good time here in Austin. I expect you probably will. So, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hook 'em horns.